Today we're going to give you an updated list for the top 5 attack strategies at Town Hall 10. We've gotten lots of new hero equipment over the course of 2024, and we're going to show you how to use it in your favorite armies. First up, we have Zap Witches, 3 golems with the power of 13 witches behind it. Then we've got the lightning spell and the earthquake spell to remove an inferno off the base. In terms of the heroes, we're bringing the earthquake boots, which will essentially operate as a second jump spell. Then on the queen, we're running the standard hero equipment. Worth noting, for all of the attacks today, we're going to be using level 30 heroes, which is the max level at Town Hall 9. So you don't even need max Town Hall 10 heroes or max Town Hall 10 hero equipment to make these attack strategies work. This here is the perfect base layout for Zap Witches. So we got 1 multi-inferno and 1 single inferno. That is the ideal combination. You can also go against 2 single infernos, but you do not want to go against a multi-inferno because they hard counter the witches. Now you pick a side to come in on. You use 1 golem and 4 witches on each flank. Gonna set an elite funnel, and then your 3rd golem straight down the middle with 5 witches, and then the queen. And then you're gonna delay your king a bit. Just make sure he's definitely gonna go inside the base. You've got plenty of wall breakers with this army. We don't want to use a jump spell on the outside of the base since we've only got 1 of them. So wall break the outside of the base and then jump through the middle. So you see, unfortunately, the king does walk around a little bit there, but that's alright. He's coming back in with the nice jump spell like that. We're going to use a rage to get through the single inferno and the Tesla farm here. You can see the funnel being set on both sides is fantastic. The witches on the bottom doing a great job. Same on the top side. And then I use my king ability on the top there to open this wall, and now we can access the town hall. So use your earthquake boots as essentially a second jump spell. It's really handy. If you do have the giant gauntlet, you can use it instead of the rage vial if you want, but I find that the rage vial is often pretty good. And then we use the heal spell on the back end of the attack just to make sure all our witches are healthy. Look at how healthy they are. They've been doing an amazing job. The golems on the bottom side unfortunately don't tank for the witch, but that's okay. We're gonna slowly but surely clean up this base. We did not need the queen ability in this attack. If you do have the frozen arrow, I would recommend running the frozen arrow, but it's not, you don't desperately need it at all as shown in this. The only hero equipment that you really do need to use is the earthquake boots, but thankfully the earthquake boots even at level 1 will open up all the walls, but the more you upgrade it, the more damage you do to the buildings in the nearby area. Next up, we have Queen Charge Lalo, probably the toughest army today, so if you're not willing to put in the time, you don't have to learn it, but it is incredibly strong if you do master it. We will need the frozen arrow. You can do it with the archer puppet, but the frozen arrow makes a world of difference with Queen Charge attacks. And then on the king, we're just bringing the standard equipment, but if you do have the gauntlet, obviously better to bring that in almost every attack. Basically, everything I do in this attack isn't the ideal way to do Queen Charge Lalo. With Queen Charge Lalo, you don't really want to hit compact bases, and you definitely don't want to charge into a single inferno. You'd much rather charge into the multi-inferno and then Lalo the single inferno. But the reason we're coming for the single here is the defensive queen. You have to deal with both the defensive queen and the CC with your Queen Charge attack. So you see, we got the rage spell down, got the baby dragon funneling, because I want my queen to go into this bomb tower compartment. The 3 wall breakers come in there. Look at this defensive queen, by the way. Gets completely countered by the frozen arrow. Even though my queen is 10 levels lower than the max Town Hall 10 queen, the frozen arrow coming in clutch. The same's going to happen here versus the loon. The loon would have got a second shot off here if it weren't for the frozen arrow. Now we're using the king on the flank. Yet again, if you have the gauntlet, would work really well here, but the rage vial and the barb puppet's going to do a fabulous job as well. Queen dealing with the hound CC outside the range of the single inferno. This is critical. Now, generally, with this attack strategy, you want to start your Lalo with about 1:30 left, and I believe at this stage, I've got about 1:50 left. So even though it looks like I could start the second phase of my attack here, never start it too early. You're probably better off starting your Lalo late than early, because Lalo is an extremely quick finish off to the base. So we get the wall breakers to go in, opening up this single inferno, and now it's time to Lalo. Because there was 2 air defenses left up on the base, I am going to bring 2 hounds. Generally, you should bring 2 hounds at Town Hall 9 or 10 with your queen charging because you don't have the Warden ability. And then same as we talked about yesterday on the Town Hall 9 top 5 attacks, you want to spread your loons out, target as many different defenses as possible. That way if red bombs hit your troops, like you saw with my loons on the bottom side there, it's going to do far less damage. And then as soon as we're getting into the wizard towers, that's when we're going to use the heal spell. And look at these loons, they're all healing back up to full HP again. The queen is still alive on the back end of the base, and we have wrecked this one. We have so many balloons up, and that is the power of this army. Now, this army is difficult to do, and you will fail a lot, but once you kind of get a hang of this army, you have so much control. There is no chance or RNG with this army, like you sometimes see with, say, the Zap Witches you saw in the last army, where the witches can just betray you. This army has the most control, and therefore, if you know what you're doing, definitely a strong army. But if you're not willing to put the time and effort in, fair enough, we've got plenty of more spammy attack strategies for you today. Queen Charge Lalo, though, might be my favorite. Next up, we have Zap Dragon. 9 dragons with the power of 6 lightning spells and 1 quake. This army is unstoppable, but it is going to be the only army today where we use high level equipment, because we do need the level 12 arrow to remove max air defenses and sweepers, and we also are going to use the level 12 vamp stash on the king, because the vamp stash on the outside of the base when your king's not entering it is amazing with that 200 heal per hit. We're also bringing the spiky ball, but if you don't have that, you can use the barb puppet or the rage vial, but the vamp stash is crucial here. So with this army, you want to look for any lineup you can get with your giant arrow. And you can see I'm using the minion here because I want to funnel my queen to the right hand side, because I'm going to get my queen to shoot at the DE drill next to it, and you're going to see the insane value we get. I mean, 2 sweepers and 2 air defenses. Now, you guys might think I handpicked this base with the value. Not true at all. Most Town Hall 10 bases, you can get this much value. And then I'm going to zap out the Multi-Inferno and the Expo there. But unfortunately, my queen goes the wrong way here. But that's not a problem, because we've got the spiky ball on the king, as you'll see in a second. So I use the baby drag to funnel. Then we spread our drags in a line. You never want to put them all on the same tile. And the loons on the top side. I'm just trying to show you something quickly. Look at this. That's with a level 6 spiky ball as well. You do not need the spiky ball anywhere near max for it to be OP, but it gets 2 air defenses. Can't really ask for a whole lot more. Now, you're going to see why the queen going the wrong way is critical here, because we pull out the Hound CC. You don't want to put your heroes near the defensive CC, because I'm not bringing a poison spell with this army. Thankfully, the dragons are elite at dealing with defensive CCs, hence why you don't need the poison spell. And then you use the loons out of your CC to target the last major building. For me here, that was the Multi-Inferno. The balloon gets 1 shot off, the balloon gets a 2nd shot off, and that is a triple. And look at how many dragons are still up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's all the dragons I brought. Not a single dragon died, even with my queen going the wrong way, even with pulling the CC, no dragons died, and that is why this army is elite. GG there. I cannot recommend this army enough. It might be the strongest one if you're good enough at lining up the giant arrow. Next up, we have Zap Lalo. I know what you're thinking, 2 Lalo armies at 1 Town Hall. Probably overkill, but Lalo is so strong at Town Hall 10. Definitely a great place to learn it. And what's great about this attack strategy is the standard hero equipment is fine. If you do have the Giant Gauntlet and the Frozen Arrow, I would recommend it, but you're not going to get a massive improvement from that. Just the standard low-level equipment is good enough. Probably the hardest thing about Zap Lalo is planning out what to zap. So on this one, you're going to see me do a little bit of a funky one. So you only need 4 lightning spells to get rid of a max queen. So we use 4 zaps on that, and then I'm going to use the last 2 zaps on the sweepers. You can see they go down nicely there. Generally though, you're going to use your 6 zaps and 1 quake together, like we kind of did with the Town Hall 9 top 5 attack strategies, because Zap Lalo was on that as well. So yeah, generally you'd use the 6 together to get rid of expos, because they do require 6 lightning spells, but here we split them because getting the queen and 2 wizard towers is unbelievably good value. Then we're going to suey in with our king and queen to try and get rid of any anti-Lalo targets we can. Here, the Multi-Inferno is perfect, but we also want to deal with the CC. Now, if you know there's a Hound in the CC, you don't want to do this. You'd much rather use your heroes elsewhere on the base, because you're going to see here, my Queen gets 0 value dealing with the Hound and the Loon. And even worse, if I Lalo through the CC, we're not going to pull the Hound and the Loon anyway. So, if you do know that's in the CC, use your heroes elsewhere. If you don't know what's in the CC, then obviously you do need to Sui into it, because if it is an E-Dragon, then you have to get rid of it, right? By the way, for those who don't know what I mean by Sui, I should probably say, it just means sacrificial heroes. Essentially, just using your heroes to not get much value, just by themselves with no protection. Now the Lalo's coming in, same exact thing as we talked about with Queen Charge Lalo. Put 3 to 4 Loons on each defense at the start, then we're just going to put 2 to 3 on the back end, and we're using 1 Hound for each of the air defenses. So there's our 3rd Hound to get rid of the 3rd air defense, because generally you'll get rid of at least 1 air defense with your heroes or your lightning spells, and use your haste, heal, and freeze where needed. Generally, you'll use your haste at the start to get through the DPS, and then the heal and the freeze on the back end. I wanted to use the heal through the Multi-Inferno there, and then the freeze through the final Wizard Tower, but I also could have freezed the Multi-Inferno and healed right about now. This doesn't look like an overkill. This base was actually a little bit difficult, honestly, but keep in mind how little hero value I got, right? The heroes, yeah, we got a Multi-Inferno and an air defense, but not really anything more than that. If we weren't suing into a Hound, or if we did have high-level heroes or equipment, we definitely would have gotten a lot more value, and that would have made the Lalo even easier, but still enough to get a triple here. This is a much more controlled Lalo army, definitely a lot easier to learn at Town Hall 9, but you can learn it at Town Hall 10. And the final army for today is GoBoWiPe. Really strong attack strategy. We've got so much tanking in this army. And we've got some new hero equipment, because if you do have the Gauntlet, I recommend using in this. To be honest, I recommend using it almost every attack strategy, but particularly ones where you send the King into the core of the base. You'll see the value that the Gauntlet gets. Yet again, using the Earthquake Boots in case we need the extra walls open. And then on the Queen, we are bringing the Frozen Arrow, because when she's tanked for, which she will be in this army with 3 Golems and 4 Pekkas, having the DPS of the Frozen Arrow and also the slowdown on the defenses is amazing. Obviously, Zap Witches is strong, but on a base where there's 2 Multi-Infernos, the attack strategy can kind of fall apart, and that's where I love this attack here. So on each flank, a Golem with a P.E.K.K.A. and 3 Wizards, as you can see. And we're trying to clear out the corner. All the wall breakers in this attack strategy are also for the flanking ones. So you're going to see, use a couple of wall breakers at the top and a couple at the bottom. Then you put your Golem in the middle from the CC, 2 P.E.K.K.A.s, then King and Queen, and deploy your bowlers quite late. You saw that giant bomb on the outside of the base there. We can't afford our bowlers to take that much damage early on. We would much rather the Inferno Beams be tanked by the Golems and the P.E.K.K.A.s. Then I'm going to use my King ability early here to open up the core, and look at the value that the Gauntlet's going to get here. Completely destroys the Queen. Now we get our heal spell down, and the heal spell is for the bowlers. Prioritize the bowlers with the healing here, because you're not going to get much healing on the King or the P.E.K.K.A.s. They've got so many hit points as is, but the bowlers are doing so much damage. We use the rage for them as well, and look at the value they get. So the bowlers here, not really applicable at the start of the attack, and that's why you deploy them so late, but definitely critical on the back end of the base. And then we jump out of the core with the second one. So jump into the base, Earthquake Boots in the center, then jump out of the base. Pretty simple, and like I said, rage spell at the start, heal spell for the bowlers, and rage spell for the bowlers as well. We'll clean this up nice and quickly, and the real question is, what did you think of this top 5 list? Did you like the fact that I'm using low-level heroes and low-level equipment to show you that this is possible, no matter if you're a new Town Hall 10 or a max Town Hall 10, or would you prefer to see maxed out of either? Hopefully you like seeing the new hero equipment in action that we've got this year, and if you enjoyed this one, well, we've got the Town Hall 11 one that will be coming soon, but in the meantime, you can watch a Town Hall 10 anti 3-star base link that we've got for you.